welcome back to my channel. So fall's coming up and I am super excited. Today what we're gonna do is this beautiful fall bronzy type smoky eye that was inspired by one specific item, which I will tell you about it later. And I really hope you enjoy it because I had so much fun making it. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you like what you see and you want to see more. Just press that little red button down next to my name and like this video if you enjoyed it. And now let's get to it. Alright, now that my eyes are primed and set, I'm going to take Almond Truffle out of the Too Faced Chocolate Bonbons palette, which is this top right shade here. And basically, I'm going to start creating my transition. So right now I'm using the M504 to add Almond Truffle to the crease and midway to the brow bone. Alright, now that we have step one to our transition done, I'm going to do step two. And I'm going to take the same Chocolate Bonbons palette from Too Faced, and I'm going to use this color Mocha, with this shade right here. And I'm going to go much closer to the crease than I did with Almond Truffle. And I'm also going to keep using the same M504 brush. And instead of going sideways as I did with Almond Truffle, I'm just going to dip the top of my brush into that Mocha shade. And notice how I'm keeping much closer control of the brush so that it doesn't go towards the brow bone. I want to keep this in the crease so as to create more dimension in my eyelid. Alright, so next what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this shade Bordeaux right here, and I'm going to work that into the crease and also into the outer corner of my eye. Because it's so dark and because I want to keep it in a controlled space, I'm going to use a smaller version of the brush I was using before, which is the M330 brush from Morphe. So again, I'm just going to kind of dip the top of the brush in there, tap off the excess, and then work it. I'm going to do this right, work it into. And notice I'm keeping it literally on the outside of my eyeballs. So I basically feel for the end of the roundness of my eyeball and just kind of keep the shadow there. You don't want to be going all over the place just yet. You're going to want to make sure that you bring the shadow about a full third of the way over into your eye to halfway. Just like that. So you see where it is? It's just about a third to halfway at your eyeball. After we've added Bordeaux to the crease and the outer corners, up until about a third to the halfway on the eyelid, we are going to use the shade Malted as also part of the Too Faced Chocolate Palette Bonbons edition. And it's going to be this shade in the top right corner. Then we're going to use that same M330 brush, and again this time we're even going to use less of the brush. We're just going to very lightly dab the top. Because this shade is so much darker than the other one, I want to make sure again that we gain more control when we put it on our eye. We don't want, again, this going all over the place. So what we're going to do is put this on the outer corner here, but a little further out than the end of our eyeball like we did before. Just a little bit, because we're going to end up winging this out later on. See that? Now it's going a little up and over. But you want to make sure you blend that out because you don't want any harsh lines with this kind of like smoky bronze look we're going for. And then don't forget later on, it's so easy to correct any wrong smudging or anything with your brush later on with some concealer. So if you end up messing it up on the sides, like if you feel it's too round or you feel it's too high up or something like that, it's so easy just to correct it later with concealer. So don't worry about that if you have that issue right now. So alright, so next in our agenda, we're going to change up our brushes a little bit. I'd like you guys to pick a thicker flat top brush like this. The next shadow that we're going to be using is one of my favorite formulas of all time. It is the Kat Von D Metal Crush Shadow, and this one is in, I believe it's pronounced DOCE. I picked this because, you know, fall is coming up. You still want, you know, kind of like a bronze look, not just for summer, but you want to kind of darken it up a little bit for the fall. And I thought this was perfect. It's like a burnt pumpkin almost, which basically it spoke to me as the perfect metallic shade for fall, so I really wanted to incorporate it in this look. So we're going to take our flat top brush, just kind of paint it down like that, and we're going to pack it on the part of our lid, which is just about here. So not too far all the way out, and then not all the way in either. So kind of keep it towards like the middle with a little bit to the end. So one of the last but certainly not least steps for this look is this Pierre Cosmetics metallic pigment in the color Celebration. Basically the whole reason I'm making this video actually is one of my friends, Defina, who you've heard in the background in my last video, the Summer Favorites video. She saw this in my vanity and was like, you need to do a look with this. This pigment is fantastic. And you know, I just haven't picked this up in a long time, and I was like, you know what? You're right. This stuff is amazing. And it's that kind of color gold that's not, you know, your stereotypical bright gold or, you know, like tacky gold. It's this really nice, like bronzy, dark fall gold. And I'm obsessed with it. So what I actually like to do with this, because it's so thick and pigmented, I'm going to use my pinky finger, dip into the cap, and just kind of... I'm just going to go ahead and see how easy it is. It just packs right onto the lid. And it's already primed, so it's going to stick right on there. I'm going to do the other side for you too. And then what obviously you want to do is you want to blend it in with the Kat Von D shadow that we put on before. So finally, what we're going to do is we are going to line our lash line with the Morphe M508 brush. This is like super small and super thin. I really like it just because you can really get in the nooks and crannies, like really close to your lash line. And because I'm making this more of a smoky kind of fall bronzy look, I didn't want to go straight to liquid liner. You can do that if you want. All you'd have to do is really razor sharp clean up the edges and add your liner. Feel free to do that. That would also be a really great look. But for me right now, I want to make it more of kind of like a smoky bronzy look. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the shade Dark Truffle, which is on the bottom here, and mix it with that shade Malted that we used before. I'm just going to dab those two in there. And then I'm just going to... Alright, so I'm going to do the other side, then I'll show you how we're going to clean this up. Okay, so after adding the lower lash line shadow and a little bit on the top lash line, I decided to go back in with that Pierre gold pigment, and I actually added a little bit more to the inside right here, and then I decided to add a splash of that pigment there as well. I feel like it adds more of a fun, kind of vibrant look than just doing the liner all the way around and just keeping the pigment on the lid. I feel like it gives it a more artistic twist. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some mascara, and then I'll show you some looks with a bunch of different lipstick options that I have and that you can add to it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial, and I hope to see you soon.